Often and often, people think that what causes problem in marriages are more of money. But today I want to tell you there are so many things that can cause problem in your marriage apart from money. If you can able to avoid this thing, honestly, you will enjoy your marriage. Don't forget to share in the comments what other things you know or you think that cause problem in the marriage. Remember, we are in this journey together. We are here to learn and to journey with one another. So I want you to grab your pen, grab your paper, and let's journey together. Welcome to our channel. Number 1, culture. What did I mean by culture? Many people go into their new home with their family culture. If your mother is good at cooking, if your father is good at ironing clothes, or your brother is the one that do the dishes, don't expect your spouse to be the one that will be doing the same. That your mother is the one that cooking or your father is the one that ironing clothes does not mean that you're expecting your spouse to iron your clothes. Your father is your father, your spouse is your spouse. Therefore, what do you need to do? Sit down with your spouse, talk about it, know what she or he is capable of doing, is enjoying doing, and let each and every one of you focus on what you are capable of doing. Perhaps if you cannot do all those things, hire somebody to do it for you, but don't expect your husband to iron your clothes or your wife to cook or your wife to do this or do that because your family is doing the same thing. Don't bring your family culture into your new home. Build your own culture and enjoy your marriage. Number 2, competition. I have seen several couples who compete with one another. What did I mean by competing with one another? For example, if your wife is at the spotlight or if your husband is at the spotlight, never you compete with him or her because you are in the journey together. I have seen so many couples because they are not at the spotlight, they don't support each other. Please, if your wife or your husband is at the spotlight, always support. Also, I have seen couples who compete in this way. Maybe your husband always buy food or support their family financially, but your parents doesn't need financial support. You are angry, compete with him. You want him to buy the same food to your parents. Please, this can kill your family. This can kill your marriage. Don't compete with your spouse. Also, I have seen couples who compete when, like for example, we women, we normally buy something, $2 lipstick, eyeshadow, small thing. Men are not used to buy small things, but once in a while, they can pull out $100 to buy a brand belt, wristwatch. Please don't compete, not because your spouse, your husband buy belt of $100, $200. I will make you to put your family money to go and buy. So don't compete with your spouse. Remember that the beauty of your spouse is your own beauty. You don't need to compete. Instead, support your spouse. Number 3, comparing. I have seen so many spouses comparing their spouse with one another. Oh, I wish you are like our pastor. Oh, I wish you are slim like that's my secretary. Oh, I wish you are like my mother. You cook like my mother. Oh, I wish like you iron clothes like my father. Oh, I wish you call me this name like my ex. Oh, I wish you buy this thing for me. Please, if you don't want to destroy your marriage, never you compare your spouse with anybody. Instead, if you know something that your spouse is lacking, if your spouse is overweight, you can find a good way to tell him or her to work on her weight instead of comparing him or her with someone there. If your spouse doesn't know how to dress, find a good way to help him or her to dress well instead of comparing him with your pastor, with your church member, with your boss, or with CEO or whoever. Never you compare your spouse with anybody. Please, doing this will destroy your home. Before we move on, my YouTube friend, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Comment in the comment section what you think and other things you know that destroys family. Remember, we are in this journey together. Number 4, communication. Learn to communicate, not to criticize. This is the problem of many couples. When someone does something, don't criticize the person. When your spouse does something, don't criticize your spouse. Instead, communicate in a respectful way. Talk to him, talk to her in a respectful way. Don't always say, you always do like this, you never do like this, you are like this, you are like that. Learn to respect him, learn to respect her, and communicate in a way you want him to communicate with you if you are the one that caused the problem. Don't criticize your spouse, and never you criticize your spouse before friends and families. Never you criticize your spouse before your children. And never ever you criticize your spouse before anyone. Communicate, don't criticize. The fifth one, the last but not the least, is celebration. Yes, I put this as one of the things that causes problem in marriage. Why? I have seen so many families that have issues just because the wife is the one that celebrates the husband. Maybe during birthday, the wife is the one that will buy the gift, do all the surprise. Then when it is the wife's birthday, the man do not do anything. As a result of that, there are issues in families. Please learn to celebrate your spouse the way you want him or her to celebrate you. Perhaps it's your wife or your husband is not a person that his or her love language is celebration. You can talk to him, you can talk to her. That's why I say communicate. And may I tell you, don't wait for birthday, anniversary, whatever, baby shower to celebrate your spouse. Buy something surprise to your spouse. Day by day, look for a way to celebrate your spouse. Look for a way to admire your spouse so that you will enjoy your marriage. Marriage is so good. Marriage is beautiful if both parties agree to work on themselves together. Thank you so much, my YouTube friends. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I will see you in our next video. Shalom.